Okay, so I guess I should start from, I mean, I already went on here just to make sure that I could access that. But I guess I'll start from the beginning. If you were going into GRT
Okay.
to the home page. So is everyone familiar with this page?
I know Eric and I, and probably Terry. I don't know if Nadia, if you've been in here before, but
Oh, okay.
Yeah, only on a couple of ISM training classes, but never actually,
Yeah, okay, so this is the home page for the GRT tool, and they have now selections just to go right into the main survey, EPN survey, which really takes you to the ACSBI reporting page. This is where you can pull all kinds of reports, but the EPN survey is one of them. So we've got the survey.
wait, real quick. Which link did you click on the main page to get there? I missed it. Sorry.
The
Oh, CM Remote Survey EPN.
yep.
That was easy. Okay.
Sorry, the third one down.
Gotcha.
So now I need to find that survey. So here's the survey that got filled out. And this is right here's the main sold to. That's the only, these are all remote. Whether it's an LSP or an EPN or a ESS that are tied to the main. And this is the only sold to number that will pull up on the EPN survey with the survey attached to it. In other words, none of those other remotes will pull up under here.
All right.
So here that, basically it's that form now online, so you can just real time change whatever you want.
Did you put that up there, or was it already there?
Well, I entered the sold to number in, and then it populated this. This is already in Avaya's record. So what it is so when they go in and add a new site in their configuration, it'll pop up what they've put in there. But see, not all of these have the right sold to numbers tied to them. So here's all the gateway numbers, but until you go in and put the new sold to number of that gateway, it won't recognize it in reporting and in maintenance as a remote gateway. It thinks all of these remotes are at the main sold to.
Okay.
So you have to put the pointers in to what sold to that actually is. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So how do we edit? I guess.
So you have to first define, and here's the tricky part, is this SEIED number. Fortunately, it's the same one.
Yeah. They all use the same SAL server.
But there are instances where they're not. You're going to get multiple SEIED numbers. And that's where you have to fix it and make sure that you X the correct. So if you had multiple ones, you would have to tell it which one is that, like you say, upgrade from an 8700 to the CL server. You're going to show two different SEIC numbers, and you're going to have to point it to the new one, and then Avaya is supposed to remove the old one. If it doesn't know what's happened, that's where we get a lot of registration issues. So you need to go in and confirm that we have and then you have to identify the main TPN, which is,
Yep.
in this case, gateway 1.
Now, how
Is that correct?
That's correct. How come that second column, the cabinet gateway ESS LSP number, how come it's like 4 digits and weird numbers instead of like 1, 2, or 3.
That's how because they can go up to the hundred. So, in the 8,000 represents an LSP, and the 7,000 is a gateway. So if some of these gateways are actually LSPs, then you have to point, if you want the billing to occur at the actual remote LSP location, you have to duplicate that information under the 8,000 numbers.
Okay, because in the EPN...
I didn't follow that. Would you say that again?
Oh.
So if a remote is actually an LSP and not just a gateway,
And all of these for Atlantic have LSPs.
that's why all these 8,000s are opened up. In other words, it'll automatically open, if you add an LSP, it'll automatically open up an 8,000 number. And then it's your job to go in and not going to put it under the gateway number. So say you added an LSP to gateway 12, you would put the new sold to for the remote under gateway number 12, and then you would go back up here and put it under an 8,000 number 2.
The same token.
Match it up.
The same
So
token.
that is pointing both the server and the gateway to that new sold to
Cool. Okay.
number.
Okay.
Otherwise, that you're going to get on your billing, you're going to show the SA support for that server at the main location instead of the support at the remote.
That's why I've seen so many 8300 showing up under the main sold to.
Right. And if the customer wants to see it that way, you can leave it that way in here. But that gives you the ability to now move it to the remote side if you want to.
But that never really tells you where it actually sits.
Right.
If we leave it that way, it looks like everything's sitting at the main.
That's correct.
And we know it's not, so.
Right.
Okay, cool.
So, as an example, can we edit, say that top line?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do some.
Okay.
So hopefully, with the help of Terry and Scott, we can match them up correctly or make sure they're matched up correctly. I wish you could see my split screen so we could do this. So let's just take so one is already set up, and that's the PPM, so we don't have to do anything with Richardson Media Gateway 1. And that's, so we'll do the Plano, so I'm going to copy the Plano. To, and you know that you can't use GRT, I'm sure everyone knows because they're using it online. So we're looking for 7001. I'm sorry, 700. Was it 2? Gosh, no. Just so I can see it. 2. Okay.
There it is.
So here it is, right here. So you would just, and you have to put all 10 digits in here.
Okay.
It lets me copy and paste. It's not. I think you have to delete it first. So, and is that one an LS? You said they're all LSPs, right?
Right.
Yeah, that one is Media Gateway 2.
So is there a Plano? I bet it's this. So we're going to put it here too. Oh, it's already. See, somebody already went in and added it here. In the LSP, so you don't have to add it there. You see that number's already there.
So essentially you just track through this whole thing and start correcting the...
Yes. exactly.
And then,
But some might be there. I mean, Avaya used to do them when you did the maintenance, so
right.
if they had the information to do so handy. So did y'all see or understand, follow, you're basically matching up these gateway numbers with the gateway numbers that are on the second column of that EPN survey?
I see it.
Second column.
The gateway column on the second survey. So like that's gateway 2.
That should
So
be.
on the survey, I just moved. This gateway column 2, you're matching these up with these,
So it'd be 7,002.
yeah. So this next one,
Media get.
is 3,
Yeah.
and it was already there. See, it's already in there.
What about the LSC?
And then if you go up, it's just an LSP. What was the name of that?
Philadelphia.
Yep. It's already in there.
So, okay.
So there's some that aren't, okay? See, not
Now,
all.
it looks like it's also asking for the mid on that other column.
It also what?
There's a column for the RFA mid. I guess we need to put the mid in for each one too.
No, the only thing that you can change on here, that's hard coded in here.
Oh, okay.
So the only thing you can actually change is the sold to column, and you can X the right SE added D.
Okay.
That's all you can change on here. And once you make the changes, the survey updates the records like within 30 minutes.
So I guess what's the? I don't know if this sounds right. What's the purpose of this? Or what does this do? Or who does this help? Or
What does it do? It points all it gives us it updates all the records, the maintenance records, so that for maintenance purposes, that the right gateways are billing at the right sold tos. And it also shows, if you pull up I'm going to say what I did. And I'm also going to pull up one that's got multiple LEIs. You can see that. But so if I go to the main and go to let's pull up that PDM reconciliation report for this sold to. Come on.
But I think
maybe you can't.
The point,
Oh yeah.
one point though, Tracy, is that especially on something like Atlantic Aviation, every time that a project's done that adds an LSP site, and you're going to be doing several of these throughout this year from that bulk purchase. Every time that an LSP site is completed, this thing needs to be updated.
That's correct.
okay.
Or it needs to be confirmed that it was a, yeah, well, actually, if I don't do this anymore,
So,
yeah.
how do these entries get into the EPN survey? Is that from the technical registration?
Well, that we're gonna request that happens, right? When they go in and technically register, we're gonna ask them to add the gateway to the.
But when we're looking at this one, these entries are already here.
Some of them are, but not all of them. So they're gonna have to confirm that they are.
I mean, how do you add? It looks like there's only, from what we're seeing so far, it looks like all this function is doing is letting us edit information that's already there. How does a new gateway get added to this EPN survey?
Well, a slot will open up on the survey when that gateway is configured into the switch.
Oh, okay.
You'll go, and if it hasn't been configured into the switch, then you can't add it. So something's not happened, right? So the technical registration is not complete or whatever. So it'll automatically open up an entry if, you know, all the steps previous to that have been done.
And you're talking about, you know, initial registration and technical registration. Those functions would create an entry in this table.
Correct.
Okay.
So I'll give you an example of what it does. It's a big switch, probably is. While we're waiting for that, I'll go back and pull up one that I know has multiple affiliates.
Well, now you were answering Terry's question. You said they appear in here once they're configured in the CM.
Right.
Because I did 2 yesterday, and they were configured last week. I mean, they've been built in their switch. They're just not active yet for Atlantic Aviation. There's like one for San Antonio, one for Stewart, New York. I noticed they were already built in their CM. They just hadn't installed them yet, and I don't see them on the survey. So they have to be
I think,
technically.
Yeah.
Scott, I think did you not see the Stewart, New York on there at all?
We'll go back and look.
I don't see it, or
Well, that's kind of my question. If they had not been technically registered, they might not be on this. I'm still trying to confirm. I think it's the technical registration that's going to create the entry in this EPN survey.
okay, is that right? Tracy?
That's my assumption, but I don't know. I'm trying to
That is correct. If it's not registered, it won't appear in the survey.
Okay,
register.
okay, that makes sense.
Okay, so here's an example of one that has multiple SEIDs. See, there's 5908, 5920,
Mm-hmm.
and when that occurs and you see that, it won't poll correctly. You have to go in and zero out the toll crew number of the older one or the one not, the mid one is what has to be X. And then everything else has to be in, and then all the proper toll crew numbers need to be listed under that. And then all the other SEIDs have to be zeroed out. So on this particular one, there's an entry here in the other SEID that's not the main, and it's under, you know, it's listed as an ESS, and I don't know why that's like that, and I need to know to Abide to find out why is that like that. Shouldn't that be zeroed out? Because I didn't do that. Somebody else went in and did that, even though it says me, because I made other changes on here, but I left that and I sent an email to Abide, I think, because it should be zero. If you see that, you should zero all that out. But I was concerned I didn't want to do that just because it said it was an ESS. But anyway, so here's, I'm now probably confusing you more than helping.
But,
Only one, yes.
How do you know that the 5908 is the correct SEID as opposed to the 5920?
Well, that's where you have to go back and look at the, you know, the registration and all that. I mean, and sometimes the BI will kind of let you know if something hasn't polled in a long time. It's like if you go to the polling report and you see that one's older than the other, and it'll, like if you have a VPN code on one and then the other, say this said 87XX, then you would know that was the older that had been upgraded, in other words.
And I'm going to ask, this may be a stupid question, but since the engineers are on here, does the equipment, is there a way to find out from the equipment itself what its SEID is?
No. The equipment does, yeah, the equipment doesn't have it in style. If this equipment's registered with our style, we would have that SEID because that shows up in our style when it's talking to us, type thing. We would usually update project plans and everything with those SEIDs, so our cash handover document has those SEIDs and stuff like that. So what you're saying, Tracy, is on this report, if like we do an upgrade, like from a 5 to 6, they want us to get new SEIDs. We go and
Right.
zero out the 5, put the correct one in for the 6, and then the pulling stuff should happen okay.
Correct.
Do those entries stay in here or do they fall out?
Well, I don't know because I haven't been working with this, it hasn't been available to us for that long. So I think they, I mean, they should come out, but I'm not sure that they will.
Okay.
Because they're confusing. To me, it's confusing to see all this in there, right? But
Yeah.
if you do see that, and even though this is the one going forward, this is the one you're going to put your main sold to number in. If you do have multiple SEIDs on an EPN survey, you've got to X all of the EPN, the mid ones. You've still got to X the mid ones, and I think it won't even let you save it unless you've X'd all under each SEID. You still have to have the X. You just have to zero out the sold to if it's not in use anymore.
Wow. Okay.
For what reason, I don't know, but you have to do that. So just the message here is that if you have multiple SEIDs and you're working on an EPN survey and only one can be mid one, only one can be X is mid one, and then only one SEID should have sold to numbers beside it. If there's another SEID on that survey that you're working on, you need to zero out all the sold tos before you save it. Understand? Does that make sense?
When you say saved it, it'll update all of our records and stuff, say like half hour, and then
Yes.
can you do a poll then to see if it's
Yes. Yes. You can. Yeah. You absolutely can. So I didn't make any changes, so I can save this. But I'm going to come back in after I get a response from Avaya. I didn't change it before because I want them to be able to see it, but I'm going to take that out. This should be all zeros because it's not the accurate SEID number. So you can go and get polls. You can do on-demand polls and report-only polls. Let's see. You were on the call yesterday when we went over this, right? Harry?
Yeah. And I did one of these a couple of days ago, and I need to talk to Eric on this or somebody. I did one of these on our switch, and
yeah, good luck there. That's
yeah.
what I did.
I know.
I need to look. Actually, after looking through this, yeah, I'd have to. Yeah, I would try that on our.
I need to work with you because I need to get a good poll on our switch, and so I did this intentionally to create a ticket, so that you and I or the connectivity group can talk and figure out what we need to do to get. Because the reports that I get on our switch are crap.
Yeah, that needs to be. Well, after looking at that other thing, I can get through and clean up all that other stuff, get the right SEIDs out there.
Okay.
You can do that.
We need to do that because I need to produce a contract to cover our switch, and there's no way I can do that right now.
Okay.
So yeah, you can create
I created.
on-demand poll.
I did that and created a ticket for our switch like 2 days ago.
Where did you do that? I'm sorry.
Well,
Go back.
Okay, never mind.
are you familiar with this SCFBI site?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yes, I've been in there a few times. I'm not that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I went in first of all. I went in first of all on the left-hand side and did the on-demand poll, which that failed. But then once I did the poll, then I could go in below there and create a polling case.
Right.
Okay.
So look at the one I've already done. Oh. So it'll pull up all the SEIDs it can see.
Hey, that's good. I know you're working on that one. I know which one this is. Oh, that's good.
So Avaya's still working on this directory. I haven't gotten a response back yet. See, this has 2 SEIDs on it. But yeah, you can do pull requests.
Well, I guess that's what's confusing some of the stuff. There is 2 SEIDs for that site.
Right, but only one can be, you can have multiple SEIDs, but only one can be mid one.
Not on a duplex system. They're both mid one on a duplex.
But you only use one of them, right?
Okay.
You only add
Well,
one of them in the survey.
Well, that's what I mean. When we technically register something on a duplex system, we get SEIDs for both servers. They're both mid one. That's what's on a duplex. So in this report, we should probably pick the A, and that's the one that should be.
Right.
And the other one, maybe zero it out with the soul tubes.
Right.
Basically what I'm hearing there. So we should take the A one on a duplex. That's the one that we want to make sure the soul tubes in. And then
That's
the
correct.
B1, even though it'll show up on there, because it's still, the B1 just needs to be zeroed out then.
That's
Because
correct.
they're technically both in one, but they both have 2 different ones. So to make all this work, okay.
That is correct. So it'll give you last poll day, successful poll day, and you can do it on either one.
Yeah.
Your poll.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, these can look pretty interesting at times. You see, these got 3 SEIDs. This one is the old 8700, and these are newer DL servers, I believe. And no success. We have no successful polls. This is not good. Okay, so I want to go back and look at that report that I was going to on Atlantic to show you kind of how so this is a reconciliation report. This is a maintenance report we use. This is so we can identify how many remotes or ESSs or LSPs a main has. This is pulling from the EPN survey. So these are the only cabinets that are actually out there under different soul tubes. And really it should be, this list should look like our survey, right? Should have all of these on it. But right now it only has a few of them. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Wonder how long it would take once this is updated for that to
30 minutes.
Really? Wow.
And so this tells us which ones are LSPs and which, and if they're duplicated entries, then it's an LSP with a gateway. So, and it's nice to have both because this doesn't tell you what gateway number it is, right? If you just put it in the 8,000 column, then you're not going to know what gateway number it is. And then you're not going to see it if you pull a media gateway report and stuff like that. So we use this, and this is, this specific report basically holds the system and tells you what's actually pulling based on what's actually showing in the SAP purchase records and the discrepancies. So you got lots of discrepancies here, Terry. And the only okay, so you see it's saying you need to add 14 MM710s. Well, when you finish the EPN survey and direct all those sold twos or the mains, all those sold twos, all these will go away because they're actually on those individual sold twos and not the main anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Really, these MM710s are showing on a sold two that's not represented up here yet in the survey. When you add them, these will go away and your poll will be correct.
I just finished the EPN survey for Atlantic Aviation and saved
so I would suggest everyone go in there like in the next hour and see what it looks like.
Okay.
If it works, these should go away then, Terry.
Cool.
So we only do an EPN survey for LSPs, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, no, or if you just threw a 450 out at a site, you would need to go in and add the gateway number.
Okay.
So that it would open up the slot, even if it was just a 450. It should open up a slot on that survey so you can add in the sold-to number. It doesn't have to be an LSP.
See, I don't think
be added to the survey.
I've done, well, I haven't done any of this for like BLO or Pioneer Natural Resources. I wonder what they look like, but.
Sometimes they're accurate, provided we're keeping up with it, but, they don't do anything anymore. I mean, they don't, they do zero. They don't do the EPN survey. They don't add and remove records on contract upload. They don't, everything, we have to do everything through GRT now ourselves. So, but I like this site because we can get access to lots of reports right away. So, any other questions?
I'm going to pull up a Pioneer real quick. One of their sold twos and just take a peek at it real quick.
I have a question just in regards to final registration for these Atlantic Aviation LSP sites. When we send those over, is it correct that we're not supposed to be, these are not supposed to be final registered?
Well, they're all new sites, and so therefore there's nothing to remove.
So then basically he would just send an email. Terry would send an email back to you saying nothing needs to be removed. This is done. I mean, there's no buttons that we can select in the tool to say this is done. Please find. Final registration is basically just equipment removal if equipment removal is required. If it's not, then we don't do anything in GRT. It just stays there.
Okay.
I hope they clean them out after a certain amount of time, but.
And I've been kind of, in some cases, kind of fudging the system just, to say, remove a card or a cord or something trivial, you know, decrease the quantity by one. It really, that's not even the right thing to do. I mean, the cable is there, or they got the cable, so. But anyway, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, if you want it to say completed,
Right.
is that what you're saying? Because
Exactly.
if there's nothing to be done, the last entry will say not initialized or something.
Not initiated.
Yeah.
But we're still needing to send the technical registration completion over, so at least you can verify.
Yes.
So we can look at it.
Okay.
Yeah. And I should be responding on those.
That's weird.
Hey, I got a.
I just wanted to make sure before I moved it off of our list that was, we were good with, they were done, so.
Tracy, can you type in this sold to number for me for Belo?
Sure.
000 534 2863.
Is that data bank or what is that?
Yeah, data bank. You get this little.
That's gonna,
You get this.
that's going to have to change.
What is wrong?
Well, I got a pop-up box. Let's see if we try it again.
What's the number I'm writing down? 534 what?
2863. I get a little pop-up box and it doesn't look the same as the other one. Yeah, that's what I'm getting.
Usually when I get that pop-up, that means something needs to occur. Oh look, a 9,000 number. Unverified mid. That's interesting. I've never seen this before. I guess that means something needs to be done.
That one's below WWL New Orleans. That's the last one we've done recently. That bottom one,
It's like
unverified.
the final registration needs to be worked on or something.
Probably so. Let me see.
I've never seen 9,000 in there.
Let me see what my status is on it real quick. Okay. Below WWL. I show it to be technically registered already. And ready to send to maintenance. Completed on February 17th.
Oh,
Mid 7. Maybe maintenance hadn't had time to do their part yet. The third step or whatever.
Well, let me look at it. Let me see what sold to we're using.
For that particular location,
Yeah.
5077767.
6-7. Yeah. Okay.
but don't you have to do the
Now this has already been completed. Me and or Eric figured this out. You can click on something here and it'll show that it's technically registered, even though it's not showing up there.
Well, if it doesn't, yeah, see, if you look there, you can see what is and isn't technically registered on the install date.
well, I'm looking at the main, but
Yeah, because I've already sent that one to Bill to send off to maintenance. And the 17th, which is, what was that? Monday.
So what was that sold to?
507-7767 503767
777.
767.
There it shows completed.
Have you not gotten your SCID? Oh, I mean,
Yeah, they've already tested
shouldn't
them.
that be filled in though, right there?
Well, they've already got the SCIDs. It's already been alarms already been tested, and
I like the SCID there.
Right, but there's no gateway SCID. Shouldn't there be a gateway, Sal gateway SCID? Weird.
Some of these were done outside the GRT process, so some of the stuff doesn't show up the way you would think it would.
now this particular one was because this was just recently.
Actually, that one, you just have SCID. That thing, which one were you in?
That was supposed to be New Orleans.
Go
Yeah.
back into that again.
You want me to go back here?
No, that has been completed. That's what's weird. Yeah.
Yeah, I got confirmation on it.
Yeah, but see, it's on board, tech on board only. There's no final to be done.
Yeah, that's fine, but I was just wondering why it's...
Did we add any of this, or is this already there?
It's probably all added as part of this order. So it was a brand new system we put in. LSP.
It just looks weird that usually it'll show more than what it shows.
Yeah, because I'll get that confirmation after alarm's been testing, and I'll send it to my PM for maintenance, and then a week or two later they'll come back and say, you know, did this get completed? And I'm like, yeah, here's the confirmation emails, it was completed, and I got it marked off my list, and they still have trouble.
Usually it says already existing, to be, or eligible for. This is weird looking. Well, there's mid-7.
Yep. And it took it when I registered it with mid-7 because you have to test it to make sure the SID and mid match and it hadn't been used. And yep, that's the right SID too.
Was the G450 showing in the survey?
Yeah, but we're not supposed to. Let's see, what do you call it? When you go to register it, you have the G450 and you have the S8300, but you're only supposed to register the S8300 because it'll provide you with a G450 SCID as well. This was on one of our SAL training classes, because if you register the G450 as well, you'll get another SID for the G450. So they said just register the 8300 because you'll get all your SCIDs from that. You know that call we had, Eric, with all the business partners on there, and where we could ask questions and stuff?
I don't know what that means. Unverified mid. And it's highlighted.
So up there where it says survey spreadsheet, is that where we can actually upload this document that we
Yeah,
did manually?
Exactly. So if you wanted to say, or as Cindy requested, send a copy to save in PWA, that's where you would.
That just download the spreadsheet? You can't upload them? Oh, okay.
Well, where it goes? Supposed to pop up. It may take a minute.
I think it's up there in your download arrow. On the top right next to your home button. Yeah.
I just looked at something else.
I didn't know if you could actually upload the EPN survey that we filled out manually or something.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Now, I guess as we do LSPs or gateways, we'll just go into this EPN survey and update the solitude number, and with all that we can, I guess, to go from there, right?
Yeah. I mean, and again, it's doubtful that it'll already be there, but, you know, if there's some holes in it, you'll need to go back and help fill out those holes, or if you see issues with it and you want the maintenance team to address them, and you know, just send us an email and we'll go in there and try to figure out what's wrong. It doesn't look right.
Yeah, I got the same thing that you got there with that below when I typed in PNR's main solitude number 2. It's 278 7855.
I'll have to save this again. Did it change it?
See, there's all PNR. They don't have hardly anything in there. Of course, I just started this EPN survey.
Okay, so you got multiple SEIDs in here. So that'll need to be cleaned up. see, there's another instance.
Now, PNR should have their own main SAL server that everything's connected to, so there should only be one SEID.
Now, look, this is it. They got this is which is see this is zeroed out, which is correct. It's the old G3SI.
I don't even think they have
got
that stuff anymore.
the ESS showing up here. And I don't know if that's the way. When I talked to Linda Sadler at Abide in the connectivity group, she said all of the SCID numbers that are not the main need to be zeroed out. But see this, it looks like the ones that are ESSs, they have a number in them, and I don't think that's the way it's supposed to be. And that's why I sent an email to GOT asking them.
Yeah, now they have several main sites with an LSP hanging off of them here and there, and they got a big main site and stuff like that. But
Yeah, they don't have one central PPN. They've got several central sites with LSPs off of them.
But they do have one single SAL server that everything goes through.
But you would think that all those individual PPNs would have their own individual EPN survey. They wouldn't be on this one.
No.
They shouldn't be tied with this just because they all go through the same cell.
Right.
Oh, okay. Then we can pull up Highway 80 if you want. Or I guess we probably need to go. It's 11 o'clock. But Or I could look at that, I guess. Let's see. Highway 80, 513, 5945.
What do you want to look at? 513, 51.
513, 5945.
This is the.
So that one's Highway 80, and it's got one LSP
It
in it.
doesn't even have an X on any of the.
There's no server on this.